Hello nerds! Today we are looking at Kaiju No. 8 Season 2, an anime season released in 2025. If you haven't seen my video on Season 1, I highly recommend it as I go over everything prior, and in this video we are going to be diving straight into Season 2. Kaiju No. 8 Season 2 covers the Kaiju weapon, compatible user, cataclysm, and the beginning of the second wave arcs from the manga. Now with that out of the way, let's see what Kaiju No. 8 Season 2 is all about. Kafka has nightmares gained from his outbursts as Kaiju No. 8. The 3rd Division has been broken apart and Kikuro has joined the 1st Division led by Gen Narumi. A kaiju with an extremely unique and new design appears in the water and is immediately taken down by Gen's 1st Division. Kafka has been assigned to the 1st Division in order to create the strongest division led by the next generation. A giant sinkhole appears in the city and out crawls an army of ants. What is the deal with ants? We also get to see the new intro, and it's pretty cool while staying in line with the 1st. The 1st Division is sent in to deal with the ants. Kafka's first mission with them is being closely watched in order to determine his worth. Kikuro, unsurprisingly, shows her power, becoming a key part of the 1st Division. Gen notices that ants never come to the surface, and especially in large amounts, which means that something is controlling them, just like how it was at Tachikawa Base. Kafka is hesitant to fully transform due to Kaiju No. 8's fight with Asao, but he has no option when facing a threat like this. He transforms and it fails. The real mastermind reveals itself, and it's none other than Kaiju No. 9. 2 of them actually. The defeated kaiju also revive themselves once again. Kikuro and Gen each begin their fight with their respective Kaiju No. 9s, while Kafka suffers from Kaiju tile dysfunction. During her battle, Kikuro remembers what a great captain her mother was, and how her death at the hands of Kaiju No. 6 resulted in her devotion to becoming the strongest. Kafka tries again to transform when Kaiju No. 9 is injured, but all he gets are visions. Visions of him killing his friends. Kaiju No. 9 isn't holding Kafka back, his own fear of himself is. Gen decides to use his ultimate weapon against Kaiju No. 9, lens created from the retinas of Kaiju No. 1, allowing him to see into the future to predict an enemy's next move, along with X-ray vision. Gen takes down his Kaiju No. 9, which leaves Kikuro and Kafka to deal with theirs. Kikuro tells Kafka not to underestimate them, which gives him the realization that a loser like him couldn't defeat all of his extraordinarily talented friends. Using the ultimate anime power of friendship, he finally transforms into Kaiju No. 8 and easily takes down Kaiju No. 9 in epic fashion, as always. Gen realizes that something is off because Kaiju No. 9 said not only does it want to kill Kaiju No. 8, but it also wants to take his powers. Kaiju No. 9's true intentions are revealed as it disguises itself as a human in order to get to Asao in order to claim Kaiju No. 2's power for itself. Kafka and Gen rush towards the impending battle as Asao gears up for a brutal fight with Kaiju No. 9. He is wildly outmatched, which leaves him with no choice but to use the full power of Kaiju No. 2, taking years off his remaining life. But to him, that's okay, because he knows that the next generation of the Defense Force, including his daughter, will lead the way to a safer future. So all he has to do right now is to ensure that this one doesn't threaten them ever again. He manages to expose Kaiju No. 9's core and gives it one more blast. However, it isn't enough. Isao eventually gave in to the limits of the human body, allowing Kaiju No. 9 to consume him. Kafka and Gen arrive to see Kaiju No. 9 taking the form of the late Director General. They, along with Kikuro, confront Kaiju No. 9 for what it's done. They manage to injure Kaiju No. 9, but it self-destructs, giving its remaining body a chance to flee with the face of Asao. Japan mourns the loss of Asao, with Kikuro vowing to get stronger in the face of grief. Kafka returns to his roots, visiting his apartment and cleanup crew friends. It is discovered that Kafka's hand cannot revert back to human, which means eventually he'll get to the point where he will be a kaiju forever if he is to continue using his powers. Despite that, Kafka's determination does not waver. It is also revealed that the Defense Force is keeping Kaiju No. 10 locked up and alive. Soshiro meets with Kaiju No. 10 and it reveals that Kaiju No. 9 created it. The kaiju also makes a surprising offer. It wants to be turned into a weapon and used by Soshiro due to its urge to fight anything and anyone. Soshiro decides to set the precedent of using intelligent kaijus as weapons. He then meets with the leaders of the Defense Force to discuss what Kaiju No. 10 revealed. A theory is that tectonic faults mutate organisms into kaijus, and that Kaiju number 9 is using that process to create even stronger kaijus. They propose that somebody uses the most powerful kaiju weapon, number 6, in order to combat the new waves of kaiju, and that someone is Reno, due to his synchronization and growth. Reno attempts to wield number 6's arms, but it hospitalizes him. Despite that, he is determined to prove that he is worthy to use number 6, even if it costs him his life, just like Kafka. Reno prepares to prove himself worthy by using the number 6 suit to take down a Hanju. Meanwhile, his friend Iharu realizes that he has hit a wall. He has barely grown since joining the Defense Force, and he has watched his peers surpass him, including Reno, making him jealous. Reno saves him once again and takes out a number of Yoju before engaging the Hanju. He pushes his entire body to the limit, suffering many injuries in order to prove his worth and ability to protect those around him. He gets trapped within his own ice with a broken leg, and it is Iharu's turn to save Reno and help him progress further, even if he doesn't himself. Iharu's combat power is shown to fluctuate whether he is in the zone or not, which makes him a special type of soldier and allows him and Reno to successfully take down the Hanju together, proving their worth. Kafka talks to Sashio for the first time since his reveal, and Sashio tells him to give up on transforming due to the risk of never being human again. However, Kafka refuses to give up Kaiju number 8 because he knows he alone can't protect anyone. He needs Kaiju number 8 to protect those he cares about. Sashio takes Kafka to a shrine where a major kaiju battle occurred centuries ago to train in hand-to-hand combat, specifically the Defense Force squadron-style combat techniques. Kafka is given his phone, allowing him to communicate with his comrades from the 1st Division for the first time since his reveal, something that scares Kafka due to the belief that everyone hates him due to being a kaiju. Silly Kafka, nobody hates you. You freaking saved everyone's life in front of their eyes. Massive kaijus begin appearing across Tokyo and disappearing before the Defense Force arrives. They believe it's a warning for the incoming battle with Kaiju number 9. Within Kaiju number 9, Isao's consciousness still exists and is barely holding on. Kafka finally gets a chance to talk to Mina, the first time we've seen them casually talk to each other in the entire show, and it's quite nice seeing them reminisce about their shared past during the calm before the storm. During a wedding, a kaiju appears, but not just there. All across Japan, powerful kaijus appear, sending the Defense Force into full action as the final assault by Kaiju number 9 begins. The kaijus are deliberately targeting the country's infrastructure and major cities, which means the Defense Force will have to use every trick up their sleeve to outwit Kaiju number 9's intel from consuming Isao. This includes Kikuo suiting up in Kaiju number 4's weapon, giving her the ability to fly and take down nearly any kaiju with ease. Sashiro prepares to use Kaiju number 10 as a weapon for the first time, the first sentient kaiju weapon that can communicate with its user. This results in erratic behavior and lowering combat power due to the conflicting actions of Sashiro and number 10. It isn't until Sashiro gives into number 10's brute fighting style that they sync and fight together smoothly. 6 very large kaiju appear in one area and Kafka is tempted to transform, but he is ordered to save Kaiju number 8 for the battle against number 9. Instead, Mina, in her massive building-sized railgun, will snipe the kaijus from miles away. After the first wave, Kaiju number 9 sends each of the most powerful soldiers, including Gen, Kikuo, Mina, Sashiro, and the 1st Division, a kaiju of their own to deal with. And not just any regular kaiju, but numbered kaijus, all the way up to 15. Kikuo begins to fight Kaiju number 15, who took the form of her, in order to get into her mind. Gen fights Kaiju number 11, which can manipulate water, bypassing Gen's ability to predict his enemy's movements. Sashiro fights Kaiju number 12, which is the final version of Kaiju number 10, a kaiju that can beat Sashiro at his own game using blades. Each of the new numbered kaijus have been specifically designed by Kaiju number 9 to take down the Defense Force's most powerful soldiers. Kafka guides civilians into shelters while inspiring them in the process. 1st Division Platoon Leader Rin is facing off against Kaiju number 13 alone, and she is severely outmatched against the numbered kaiju. Despite that, she gives it her all, which costs her her life. If it weren't for Kafka Hibino, who can't sit by and watch any longer. He transforms into Kaiju number 8, signaling a turning point in the battle, which alerts Kaiju number 9 to his presence. Pretty brutal cliffhanger. It seems the next season we're getting a war arc. Yippee! Well, with that being said, we have covered the entirety of Kaiju number 8 Season 2. And unfortunately, it is not as good as Season 1. While not being bad in my opinion, it lacks many of the elements that made Season 1 so cool. A big part of Season 1 was Kafka as a character, his secret identity, and his bond with the Defense Force. But ever since his secret got revealed, we lost a lot of that, and in this season, Kafka is not nearly as present. Instead, this season focused a lot on the side characters like Reno, Haru, Kiku, and Soshiro, and I appreciate the effort to flesh them out more, but they just do not interest me as much as Kafka, which is this season's biggest flaw for me. I still found all the epic scenes to be cool, especially at the beginning and ending of the season, but it felt more hollow this time around. Kaiju number 9 is yet to become more than an alright villain, which is slightly concerning as it is the big bad of this series. And yeah, I really don't have a whole lot to say about this season because this season doesn't say a whole lot. I enjoyed it well enough, and it still retains all the production quality from the first season, but it is definitely weaker narratively than the first season. The peak episode will go to the man called Asao Shinomiya for being the most compelling and epic episode of the season. It's a shame because this really started the season on a high note. Honorable mention goes to the strongest division for being epic, as well as fleshing out the Shinomiya family, which was cool. The weak episode will go to Kaiju Weapon for being boring, especially for a season premiere. It even ripped off the greatest kaiju of all time. And there you go, Kaiju number 8 Season 2 was released in 2025 and was not as popular or well received as the first, but still relatively popular due to being a shonen action anime. As of recording, Season 3 has not been announced, but I'm sure it will eventually, as it most likely will be the last season for this show. But yeah, and as always, thanks for watching.